Hello everybody and welcome to Dark Slayer Learns. Today we're going to be VOD reviewing a Silver Cypher main here on Sunset. Their name is LOSNA or LOSNA, not sure which. Again, I'm getting this VOD from the Acre Discord, specifically the community VOD section. But if you'd like me to review your VOD, you can always send them to darkslayertv@gmail.com. But for now, let's go ahead and get started. All right, going for Ghost, double util, pretty basic. I will say I'm not gonna say harsh, but Cypher is my main as well, so I'm really curious how you do end up setting things up. So we're gonna go ahead and check. Not a terrible trip. Just be careful. Do they have... No, they don't have anything to destroy it. Never mind, don't be careful. This is awesome. 10 out of 10. And by things to destroy it, I meant like Raise Grenade, Sova Arrow, things like that. But you're good. They don't really have anything that is going to be able to deal with that. All right, let's go ahead and see how you do this. You like to sit back sight. Cam's not in a bad spot. I'm curious about this trip. I've never seen it, but it looks cool. So we can hear at least 2 people, maybe even just 1. So I will say this is my first critique. My first critique is we heard maybe 2 footsteps, which means this could be a default. They could have 1 mid and another 2 A. And they spammed the ultimate orb. So that tells me they're trying to bait you. I actually wouldn't have called people over. Now this could be correct. This could be a 5 stat going straight into B. We are in silver, but just be careful. My recommendation is use your voice here and say, hey, I hear at least 1 or 2 B main. But if you can't do that, maybe just type 2B or something in chat really fast, especially because you're Cypher and you got your cam here. I would just be careful because right now you're risking your Gecko, who now has to clear this because we don't know, right, how many are here. So Gecko is going to come up and have to clear mid, and A is completely free if they do happen to be there. We do see the smokes, we do see the fade. So there we go. It does seem like they are going to 5-man stack B, so that worked out. So yeah, mid's open. In my previous VOD review, I mentioned something called the rope. Looking back, it's called the chain. Take a look at your team's chain right now. This isn't your fault, but I just want you to have a look at it because it might help you make decisions in the future. Your chain right now is this. The rest of the map is completely open. This is one of the reasons I wouldn't have pinged yet, because your chain is now all messed up. Like, we have no idea what the entire map looks like except for B site. Again, that's not entirely your fault, but just something to keep in mind. Okay, you're in the back. I wouldn't mind having Knife out here and just watching the mini-map. Now, you didn't clear back here, and I gotta be honest with you. I don't think it's that big a deal because it is weird that they're there. I guess it's not weird that they're there. But let me explain why you died beyond not clearing it. You died not because you didn't clear it. It's not because you missed your shots. It's because when you early pinged, the whole team came over, which is going to happen a lot in silver. And then your chain was messed up, and then the chamber could get over here. So it seems like a stretch to say that it's kind of your fault, but it is kind of your fault. Just be careful. Be very careful with that early ping because your team is going to rotate because they're trying to get better and they know that faster rotates are better. So you're pinging and they're saying, okay, let me go. And then stuff like that can happen. But all right, next. I'm curious what your round 2 buy is. Full util and a ghost, leaving you with 3,400. Not terrible. You do go with the small shield. I don't hate it. Where'd you put that? That's not bad. Do you know the thing about if you crouch down and it's eye height, then they can't jump over it or crouch under it? I would go with something like that. However, that was a little low. You can use low ones. There's nothing wrong with that, but they haven't seen one here yet, so they're not conditioned to be looking for it anyway. So I would probably have raised that up a little bit. Now, if they're conditioned to look for it, definitely start moving it around. Play with their anticipation. But yeah, all right. I'm not too worried about the util usage. I'm mostly interested in the gunfights and stuff. Okay, so we have a Fade Eye. We have a Wasted Gecko ult. Or not ult, but blind. But that's not you. Okay, so you're going to play in your cage. They shot your cage, and now you're going to step out. Okay, so here we have to be really careful. So I like what you're trying to do. You're trying to set up a duel for you to have the advantage in. But we have to remember one major thing. They just 5-man pushed B, so they aren't really prone to splitting. Or at least there was at least 3. I should take that back. There was at least 3B. So we know there's at least 3A because they smoked and they're pushing it. So when you peek like that, it's not a 50-50, even though you're coming out of your own trip, or cage rather, because like right there was 2 people immediately that were staring at you. So in this case, it's an information thing. You're taking a duel not knowing how many people are going to be there, which is risky. And as you can see, it got you killed. The problem with playing Anchor really aggressively, at least when you're newer, is you are taking a lot of gambles. You're saying, I'm going to aggressively be an Anchor and try to get kills, which is good. I like that mentality, but it's very risky. And honestly, right now, if you could have just put up your wires, left your cage there, by the way, because if you left your cage there, they're going to approach it really, really slow, even if you're not in it. You'd still be alive, and then you'd be able to help your other 3 teammates for the round. But because you are gambling, unfortunately, they just killed you. I also want to check something else. Let's check your panic fire. Let's see if you actually aimed or not. Let's slow this down, take a look. See, because right now you have no info. You have cam. So they killed your wire, right? You actually could have done here is cammed or move your cam over, because then you could easily get that information. You did get the trip over here, which should help them, but let's see. Let's watch your crosshair. Not terrible positioning. Ooh, okay. So not only did you panic fire, the reason I say that is because there's no way you thought this was on her head, right? That's not on her head, and I feel like you know that that's not on her head. So you have to be careful. You did panic fire, and then second is after you missed and you realized you missed, you start immediately running to the right while shooting. So you get a shot out. Look at the movement error. Look at the movement error. We're shooting, but we're scared to die. So our movement error and gun error is super high, and we're dead. So to be honest with you, you actually did get your 1v1. However, again, there is a second one here, and 2, you panic fired. So be very, very careful. I love the confidence. I love the balls to do this. Work on that. But for now, until you can more confidently take duels, I would just play a little bit slower of an Anchor. I really would. I would like to add the caveat, though, of course, if you had info, knew it was only Jet, I am totally fine with the duel. Anyway, all right, let's check your econ game. We've got full util into a bulldog. Whoa, hold up. Brings us to 2,900. And then are we going to full armor here? We're going to half armor because we got the region, which leaves us at, let's see, 2,300 for next round. If you guys lose this round, you're not going to be able to buy anything at all. I don't know if you're doing it because you're trying to keep up with their econ, but at this MMR, I wouldn't focus too much on keeping your MMR even, MMR econ even. I would focus on making sure your econ is good. So this isn't bad. Trying to mimic them. If that's what you're doing, then that's fine. If you're doing it just because that's what you have money for, then you've really got to get this minimum next round higher. Like my go-to on Cypher is 3,100. 3,100 usually means you're going to get at least some util, a guardian, and heavy armor. So this is scary, but we'll keep going. All right, so the round is starting. We've switched sites again. We've got the same trip. We've got a cam. This time we're a lot more aggressive in our positioning, though. I don't like this positioning. If you're going to stand here and you're going to have your camera here, it seems like it's a good idea because it's like, oh, yeah, I'll just see them, right? And then I've got access to just shooting at them. And maybe really high-level ciphers do this. It's possible, but I doubt it because what happens is, again, like let's say 3 walk out. Even if 1 hits your trip, if 3 walk out, not only does it happen faster than you think it does, now you're 1v3, right? So that's even if they hit your trip, that would make it maybe a 2v1, but even then, now it's a 2v1. This is dangerous as all hell. I doubt anyone plays like this, because at this point you might as well not even have the cam up. You might as well just have your gun ready, so that way when they do start coming out, you can just start shooting them. Again, this is a very aggressive anchor. I love it. I love it. But unless you're playing with perfect information, this is scary. And right now I can tell you, you are not playing with perfect information, at least so far. But let's continue. All right, so we see the fade IA, and we're all immediately heading over. Do we clear mid? All right, Clove did clear mid. We should be staring at minimap but this whole time, by the way. We're not seeing anything yet. We see 2 smokes. Fade grenade. We do see that there's one on B now. Okay, we get the kill on fade. We hear that the bomb is A. That's good. Very good job getting the chamber. I do want to kind of take a look at the duel, though. Sorry, the whole point of this is to critique, so I'm going to be pretty on top of watching stuff like this. All right, here we go. All right, again, we're shooting too fast. So you can't tell me this first shot you thought was on his head. I mean, there's maybe a chance you thought it was, but I highly doubt it. What I would do is, this is one of those situations where you have to take a step back. When you're improving, sometimes you take a step back to go 10 steps forward. And in this case, you need to take a step back, lose some duels. Lose some duels for the sake of calming yourself down and try to go for the head. Eventually, going for the head will become so subconscious you're not worried about it. But right now, you're panic firing every single duel so far. You do win this duel, which is great. But if you want to really, really improve, I would hardcore consider just losing some duels. You know it's going to happen. Get in that mental state of, I'm going to lose some duels and it's fine. If you want to do it in swift play or something, go for it. I personally think ranked is the same as quick play, and unranked, people just get weird about it. But I think this is your biggest issue so far is this. All right, so we kill him. Now what do we do? We should be potentially looking to see what Clove sees. So we see that someone is back A. We don't know where Sage is, but we know Jet is back A. We hear movement. So I think you're trying to play reactive. Clove gets the Jet. She drops a smoke. Ah, okay. So we break it. How do we take the duel, though? Not bad. That could have gone worse. I think that was fine. The only thing I didn't like, if we're going to be super, super critical, I don't take this to heart. I get it. It's scary. But right now, you're playing reactive. And I can tell because you're waiting. You're kind of hoping the Jet comes out so you can shoot her. Remember, when you get higher elo, the person swinging is going to have the advantage. So try to be the one that's swinging. Not only are they less ready for you, because if they're swinging a corner, if you're there or not, they're ready for a fight, right? When you swing a corner, you're expecting a fight. So they're ready, like they're primed. But if you start being a little bit more proactive with this, like take some of that aggression you have from being an anchor and put it into your duels. If you would wrap this, and you can do it quickly, like you can do it with shifts so you're quiet even, but get up there, go. Get up there and swing. So that way you're taking the fight to them and now they're not ready for you. Because even if they are, like let's say they're holding the angle, they've got omnipotence, they know you're coming. Again, you're the swinger, therefore you have the advantage. I will say a little bit of a critique of what I just said is we didn't know where the Sage was. But regardless, I still think you could be a little bit more aggro here because of how the site is set up. You could take one duel at a time coming from this angle. But regardless, okay. All right, so we did win the round though, which is good. And we got some kills, so we're not broke. We still got our gun. That worked out. If this was not a win though, you would be in a very tense situation. Question, do you often feel like your econ is messed up on rounds where you're losing? Obviously, you're going to say yes because you're losing, but does it feel really bad? I bet it does. Because if you're losing and you're spending money like that, you've probably got no money ever. So again, I don't think you're aware of the trip thing. And if you are, you're not doing it well enough. Right here, there's no reason to not just crouch. Like, you're giving them a clearer line of your trip. So if you're just walking, it's naturally at eye level now. And And then on top of that, if they do see it, they can now trip you out, no pun intended, because if they go under and your trip is still up, you think it's clear. So remember, if you put this at eye level and crouch, boom, they can't go under it, they can't go over it. Okay, let's see. Doing the same trip setup. Cam up there. I'm actually a bigger fan of a cam there, personally. We see one IA. We see a brimstone mid. Okay, here's the thing. Rotating fast, 10 out of 10. I completely understand why you're doing it. A lot of good players will tell you that's one of the big differences between bad and good players. They only rotate when they have solid information. We have an IA, and look where Gecko's at. He can see A main. Yes, he can't see all of it, but he can see A main, and it's clear. Obviously, there could be 4 people right here. Like, we don't know. But still, we don't know is the point. We have a brimstone here, and everyone's abandoning to go A. We've got to slow this down, at least until you've got better info. I'm fine with fast rotates. Please get better info first, though. Because remember the chamber last round? You won the duel, but remember how he was behind you? In theory, he should have killed you. So if you were still on B, you would have killed him. Okay, we got Jet mid, we got a Reyna IA, and now look, because we've left B, everyone that was mid can now go B. All because I was saying Reyna, wasn't I? A Fade Eye was showing up A. You gotta be careful. This is what I was talking about at the very beginning, too. So we're also not aiming at head height. Is anyone's head ever going to show up right here? I haven't really been paying attention to your crosshair too much, but it's been atrocious the last few seconds at the very least. Look at this. Remember, we want to keep this head height. I'm going to keep a bigger eye on this now. Check our cam. So anytime you check cam, pretend you're reloading. Would you reload right here? Watch. Would you reload in this spot? Would you reload in this spot? If the answer is no, do not check your cam. Unless you're going to go, and even then, that should be for whenever you know it's safe, because you got info. And right now, you don't have any info. You don't know where anybody's at. You're checking your own spawn. I assume the reason you're doing this is because you died here earlier. I'm not entirely sure. You are going to wrap around and go backside A. You're at okay head height? Brim, go ahead and smokes you out. You're gonna push it. Oh my god, what is this song? It's the throat singing, but metal. This is completely off topic, and I know YouTube can't hear it. I'm probably not gonna have the sound very loud because of the copyright stuff, but I know this song. Oh. You're in a really bad spot. So let me explain why this is a terrible spot. And again, why I will say this is a better spot to check your cam, but like let's look at this. I'll explain why it's bad. Here's the corner for you, right? Look how far the corner is from them. So you see how you barely saw them here? Huh, you barely saw them. They 100% saw your entire body more than likely. And they're going to be able to see you way before you see them. So if you win this duel, I will be blown away. And then on top of that, you saw someone and then you cammed. What is this? You can't cam right here. You're camming again. And there you go. Brimstone was waiting for you because he saw you. So that's a no-go. Let's take a look at how you approached and how you could change this. This is a fine spot. There's no reason to go any further. Unless you hear beep beep. You know they're not going to be planting. You have a Jet here who needs to get her ass up here, frankly, because this is like where we know it seems to be at. And you can play from this hall, because if you play from this hall, not only can you keep your aimer here, which means you've now got a better chance to hitting Brimstone, which of course he did smoke it. But here's the thing. That's fine. You don't need to push this. The reason you don't need to push this, and it feels like you do, I know why it feels like you do, because it's like, well, we got to get kills, we got to control site. I get that. They haven't planted. They have not planted. So imagine how long it's going to take for them to get here, plant, that smoke's going to be gone by then. You get why I'm saying it's not really that big a deal? You didn't need to push this, which is what got you killed. If you would have stayed here, you've got an escape route towards spawn, and you would have just had better control of the site. Like, in a way, you gave up control of the site whenever you came over here. And then you checked cam a bunch and then died. So this, yeah. All right, let's see what we buy here. So if you look, we've got decent money. We're going to go Odin Heavy Armor Util, which left us at, give me a sec, 3,300 mid next round. Now, this is good. This is the kind of thing you want to see, is around 3,100, not under, for the next round. So therefore, if you just die instantly, you're still good. Because if you look, 2,200, that's going to get you a Guardian, and then you get a small armor, and then if you want, you still got util options. Do not go below 3,100. Okay, we're doing the same trips, but we added one. Is our cam up close again? You have an Odin. You have an Odin. You don't need this camera. This is pointless. This camera doesn't do anything. Like, look at your line of sight. This camera doesn't do anything, my guy. The point of Cypher's camera is to gather intel or get kills through walls, things like that. Right now, your camera sees enemies, you come out of the camera and you go, there are indeed enemies. So right now, I don't know what setup you're doing. This isn't working. We can't be doing it. Or if you watched a guide and the guide told you to put the camera here, you need to watch how they're playing it, because it's not how you're playing it. I guarantee it. Okay, so we got an Odin, which, by the way, you're not even aiming in the right spot. So I know it doesn't seem important, but it is. That whole time you should have been right here. If you're going to stand there, your aimer needs to be here, because that's where they're coming from and they're going to kill you. Right now, you're not even looking. So now we look back over. We're all leaving B again. We have our own clove. Yeah, our own clove put a smoke B. There, okay. Again, you should be watching minimap because you're not part of the fight. Look at the minimap. Watch as you're approaching. Watch this. What do we see? We see one died here. Watch. Two here. You shouldn't be here. Go back B for many, many reasons. One, you have an Odin. You're not about to take a long-range fight with an Odin, because any player that has any sense is probably going to be able to beat you at that range. Two, they are mid. They could go anywhere. They could be taking B in the next 10 seconds, okay? And look, you've got two allies here. They both have sniper rifles. Go back to B. I love the proactiveness of your rotations. I love the aggressiveness of the anchor style, but we've got to refine how you're playing that aggressive anchor style, and we've got to be more careful about these rotations. So they both die here. Oh, no, sorry, just ISO dies. And then we get this. And you're forced to then cross, so you then have to use utility. You take damage. And remember, for what purpose? As of right now, what is the purpose of being here with an Odin? Okay. She has a Vandal. She can see you because there is a gap in the cage, which is fine. It was a panic cage to get across because of the ult. I understand. But you shouldn't have been there to begin with an Odin. And when they were mid, they could have gone B. So we're going to just reiterate the two main problems again. Aggressive anchor, good, but the setups are bad. And again, don't rotate without info. I don't care if your team is pinging like crazy, okay? Unless they're on voice comms saying, I have all 5 here. Don't go. And I'm telling you, even at this rank, they don't know what all 5 sounds like. They just hear multiple footsteps. All right, so let's see. Ooh, so this is gonna bring us pretty low, isn't it? Hold on, let's go back a few frames. 3,600. Is this without it? So 656. So this brings us to 3K. So if we die here, we're pretty screwed next round. Let's see what this goes. All right, so we're gonna put a cam up here. I've never seen that cam. I like it though. That cam makes a lot more sense. Do you know why this cam makes more sense? It can get information in a dangerous position that you're not in. So therefore that cam is better. It's gonna get info faster, and if it dies, it dies. I mean, obviously in a perfect world, they don't die, but it's gonna die, it's your cam. And you don't have to risk yourself to see that info. Do you see the difference? Hey, there it was. There it was. Do that more often, please. So you do know how to do it. All right, boom. We just heard the jet ult and we just heard the chamber ult. Where do you think they're at? If this is a high elo game, they're mid. They're about to fucking control mid like no one's business. You've got perfect accuracy Jet and Chamber with an operator, okay? Stay B. As of right now, stay B. You let them have mid. There is no reason to challenge mid. But look at your team. They're already all pushing out. This scares the shit out of me. This isn't your fault, by the way. This isn't a critique on you. I'm just looking at the situation. All right. Boom. Jet mid. Now, is Clove going to keep challenging it? Now look, boom, Chamber, mid. This Clove is lucky. She fought death twice and survived. She didn't get any kills. No. Don't rotate. Don't rotate. Good, good. No. We see one here. Don't rotate. Don't do it. Ugh, Gecko said A. There's a chance they're going to go A. There's a chance this is going to work out. We have no info. We saw one thing happen. We saw 2 mid, and you pinged here for some reason, so I don't know if you heard something. Still no info. Okay, we have 1A. We have 1A, and they did plant A. Okay. Yes, there's a chance they go A. But this is luck. This was a coin flip. We got lucky that they were going A. Let's see how you take the fight. They've planted A. You don't even need to check your cam anymore. Your cam should not even be on your mind. I know you're like, well, what if they come from behind? I don't care. Get on A, defuse, and I don't care where they're at, right? Okay, so we see that one died. We see 2 on site. So the whole time you're approaching, eyes up here. So we know that 1 is mid and we know 1's back site. Boom, we died because let's take a look at our team chain. So if we look at the chain, we have vision here and we have vision here, and this is the chain's broken right here. So in order to save yourself here, if you think about it, I understand wanting to go with these guys. It feels safer. It's like, oh, I can trade. But let's be real. If you go here, the chain then becomes this. But right now you've got a cluster here and a guy up here. So you've got this error here. Here comes the brimstone and boop. Okay. So just remember the chain. Okay. When you approach a site, remember the chain. All right. Let's see what you buy here. Cause I remember last round was bad econ. You bought full util, a ghost and light armor. You would have a guardian right now at the very least. If you would stop buying and just get to 3100. You buy full util every round. Your trip has found 1 person. Your cage mid kind of helped. And then when you fought at the very beginning, you played inside the cage and died. So I want you to think about it. You're putting all this money into util and it's not doing anything. Okay. So the util is important and practicing it is important. But I think that right now we need to stop buying util to save some more money so we can get rifles. Rifles are going to get you kills. Okay, we got a trip here. I don't mind that trip. Yeah, you're changing the height. Good. I don't mind that cam. However, I will say the point of those cams is to not play on site. You can't stand here. I mean, you can, I guess, in this situation. As long as your Gecko and Fade are there, it's fine. However, you're playing in a smoke. I think you're scared. Okay, so they hit your wire a bunch, and then Clove smoked that. So you can't even play. They've smoked here again. You're still playing inside it. Okay, you come out, and you spam down the brimstone. Fade ulted. So they know exactly where you're at, by the way. You know how this works, don't you? She's gonna come out and know you're in this corner. If she's smart, she'll come through and push it. I do like the cage, though. You are kind of tricking her into thinking maybe you're in it now. I didn't hate it. If that's why you did it. Otherwise, it was kind of pointless. Ooh, that was a lot of movement error. I don't think one of your bullets even showed up where it should have been. That was painful. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna do it. This is pointless. I know you want to shoot him through this, but your ult is not good for that because it gives you a frame of where they're at. So if they're moving at all, by the time you see the frame of where they're at, they're already somewhere else. So unfortunately, your ult can't be used in this way. And if it does get used in this way, the chamber is just not thinking about this in the way that he should. Plus, the fucking smoke came down anyway. Let's check the duel. You started shooting in a really weird place. Give me a sec. Okay, you panic fired immediately. Like, you're shooting here with a ton of movement error. So not only are you not even ready to shoot, you're shooting and then stopping, and you're shooting down here, and then you're trying to control the recoil. And look at the luck. Do you see the luck right here? Like, you see how you're aiming right here, like where your bullets are going. That is luck, because once you get that many bullets into a spray, they're random. So this is an absolute luck kill that was brought on by panic. I don't know if you know Woohoo Jin's movement guide. There are practices you can do, so it becomes second nature to know exactly how long to wait before shooting, which will assist your trying to go for headshots. Which, by the way, I know I'm throwing a lot of info at you. At the end, I'm going to give you my top 3 points that I think will help improve your gameplay. But for now, just let's keep going. Soon we're doing the cam thing again. I don't mind these trips, by the way. They're not terrible. I'm just curious if you have a backup trip, though. Because if they have a Sova, they have a Reyna, they have a Tejo, anyone that's going to kill this just on the approach, you can't put this here. So I'm curious if you switch it up or not. Okay, we're playing a very close cage. We're getting into this corner. I'm assuming this cage is so you can hide outside the cage and then shoot them. I see. So now you're gonna cage. You should have caged earlier. As soon as you saw this jet throw this, she could have just dashed out. Now, that doesn't mean she would have killed you necessarily because you had time to detonate this, but I think the whole point of this is secrecy. So if you don't have this up and they are watching their mini-map, they know you're there. What was the goal? Hold on. You see, or you caught one. Why are you turning around? You caught one. Shoot the guy. Why are we hiding? I think you're trying to hide your gun so they can go into the trip. Bro, they're not gonna go in that trip. Not in silver. And they see you. I don't 100% know how. Your trip might be slightly off, but yeah. You had a free kill here. You absolutely had a free kill. The second he hit that, you could have killed. I think I'll be honest with you. I don't like saying this very often because I honestly don't see a lot of people screw it up too much. I think you've got an overemphasis on util right now. If you want to genuinely improve, I think you need to stop worrying about the util, get your duels down, get your setups down. And by setups, I do mean util, but I just specifically mean put a camera somewhere that makes sense. And learn just learn the stationary util that doesn't require any extra input from you, and then focus on your dueling, because this is a lot for someone that's not even shooting at heads yet, you know? Okay, we're putting down the exact same trips. Now, they hit this trip last time. Now it's silver, they could just hit it again. But what I would have done instead is I would have doubled this trip. If they're gonna hit it, or they're gonna know that it's there, put another one right here. Like, I'm not even kidding. They'll shoot this one and then immediately hit the second one. But that's just more of something I like to do. Okay, we see one fade eye on A. We see chamber mid. There's no reason to leave yet. No one should be leaving. This time you didn't leave, so props to you, but I hope this is emphasizing the point I'm making. People like to go, I heard an ability over here, and then the whole team rotates. You're seeing exactly why that's an absolute atrocity of an idea. This time you caged early. I kind of like that because it means you're saying, hey, hit my trip, and then I will spam the Odin on you. But here's where I'm not enjoying this strategy. You have no escape plan. So if I'm to guess, you'll probably get a kill. You'll get 1 or 2 kills because you're going to spam the Odin. You're probably going to die immediately after. Oh, see, they shot the wire. If you had that second wire there, by the way, they would have hit it 100% guaranteed. So you're in the smoke. You're trying so hard to get kills right now. So you're going to try to shoot down the Sage wall to kill her. Honestly, not bad. I enjoyed the cage there. That wasn't bad. But you were panicking and it got you killed. Your Clove just died. Like, look. Like, you can see it. So honestly, what I would have done, like, you know this guy's here. You know you're reloading. It's way safer to just stay here. Because even if that jet comes out, which I honestly think is unlikely because you have an Odin, at least you've had more time to reload. I don't understand why you proceeded to go towards that guy. I actually really liked how you shot down the wall and killed the Sage, and then I enjoyed the cage follow-up. So not a bad round. Just remember, they're going to eventually know where your trips are, and they're going to be conditioned to look for them. Okay, this is the cam location I like more. I think you've realized it, so you're going to change up where you're placing them. I do like that. But this position sucks. Okay, the reason this position sucks is because I have a feeling you're going to try to get a kill. And if you do get a kill, great. But now they're on site, and you've got nowhere to go. Like, you're going to have to run all the way back here. This position, we've got to think of a different position or learn to play around util differently, because this is so dangerous for no reason. Okay, we've got no info so far. We're making a lot of noise, though. We see 1A. 2A. Sorry, we see 2A. Don't go in there. You've no reason. No reason. They haven't planted yet. They've got an hour left before they're going to win the round on time. Just, this is so unnecessary. Now, maybe cage out of it. Okay, I enjoy the cage out, but it's really far away, so that's not good. Did we go into the cage where there's a Clove smoke? Oh, gosh. That was luck. Which, by the way, not only was it luck, well, I guess actually it's a Spectre. You have a Spectre, because again, you're probably overspending. I haven't been watching. But you didn't even try to go for the head. Which is fine. I think the Spectre is one of the few weapons I'll let you get away with it with, but still. You didn't even try. So you know they're there. Like, you saw them here. I would just go for them. I'm not even kidding. This slow stuff's going to make them ready. And if you shift walk this, you're going to get instant head tapped. If they're holding this and you're shift walking, your head's about to get blown clean off. You got lucky. All right. So now you're scared and you don't know what to do. Okay, you look down the hall. You're holding it. But you're not sure because they could come from this way, so you're scared. I get it. All right, so she ultimates to get Brimstone back up. I do like this reposition. I don't like how indecisive it was. She jumps out and then just shoots you. So I think you need to, I don't know if you know this rule or not, but you see how close you are to the corner? This happened earlier too. The fact she's so far away from it, like, look. Like, look, she shot you before you even saw her because you're so close to the corner and she's so far away from it. You've got to keep that in mind. Okay, so we're playing as Sentinel. We have, like, by the way, we went Spectre again because, again, we're spending too much money. We've got 2 trips up and we don't even have our cam up right now because we don't know what to do with it. We do not care at all about our blind as Gecko, apparently. We only got 1. Oh, boom. Minimap. Check it. Watch this shit. Clove is the first person. Boom! We've got 2 mid. We've got 1 B. And now we can see that mid has gone to B, so we know for a fact they're going B. We've got to start playing with info. You're just sitting at A now. We've got to play with info. And I know it's difficult. I know I'm asking you to pay attention to a lot, but you're playing a Sentinel, so knowing how to anchor and when to rotate needs to be one of your highest priorities. And right now you don't know when. They're gonna plant probably before you start moving. And if they don't, it'll be very shortly after you start moving. Oh, okay, we're moving. There it is. So we're halfway over. Okay. We see we're not there yet. We should be looking at minimap. Okay, now we need to clear this. By the way, pay attention to how you're clearing. I want you to see this. You need to not be shift walking around this because there's a very high chance someone's holding this. So you need to go up close to the wall instead of far away from it, which is the opposite of the other thing. But it's because what you're going to do is you're going to step up right here and you're going to take 2 big steps this way and look down because your head's going to go woo, instead of this real slow, boom, dead, right? So if you want to stand here and then swing out, you'll be able to see it. Right here, you would have died. Plus, look where your aimer is. You're dead. You're so dead to anyone that's holding this. You can't do that. I know you're wanting to be secretive, but at some point, well, one, you can actually do that wrap without making noise. You can take like 2 big steps without making noise. I didn't know if you knew that, without holding shift. But even if you did make a footstep, I'm telling you, you're in silver. It happens, and likely they're not going to use the info anyway. They're going to think it's Clove or something. So here you can't be looking at minimap, but you should know where roughly where your gecko's at. So now you know mid is in trouble. And by the way, I want you to think about how you should clear this, because I want you to think about this. Boom, you've cleared this. This is clear. Where's the other threat? Where could they come from? Here. So the second this was clear, you still need to clear this. You can't just hope they're not there. Just immediately move your aimer over, take that step that I'm telling you about, and then your aimer will already be in place, and you got the kill, which is good. But this would have been a lot cleaner the other way around. Here is a position I would potentially ult in because you don't know where the Sage is at. I think you could absolutely win this round in a 1v2. Let's see if you use it. Got the Vandal. Okay, we know where Fade's at. We know they're both to your left now because we know for a fact that Fade's coming from here because that's where the eye came from. And we used your ult. There is the Sage. The issue now being they know your exact position. So they know your position right now. Yeah, and then you're just gonna like back out, which is fine. Yeah, at this point, leave. Just leave. Leave. Ugh. You knew where it blew up to, which is good, but still, gotta be careful. All right. So we set up in this awful position again. We're gonna go check mid. We're shift walking into mid. So going into mid like this is fine. I actually like it because the chamber wasn't ready for you. You got a kill. That's fine. But you have to remember, now you can't be watching minimap because you're mid. So like, you probably have no idea where to go right now. Like, you have no idea where they're going. But if you were still B, you'd have been able to watch. Which, by the way, those are both tools. Going mid is fine, especially if you can get some surprise kills. I'm not critiquing you for this. Just remember that it left you completely unaware of what's going on because it requires so much attention. So just remember when you're picking a strategy that that is the case. We've pinged B main. We're going back mid. Don't. Oh god, that was so scary. Don't ping. I know it seems like a good idea, like right there, but like it was so unnecessarily risky. That was, I don't know what that was, an aggro ping. So on defense you buy Ghost, but on attack you're buying double cage into a trip with light armor. We'll see. We'll see. Because again, I think you're over relying on your util a little bit too much. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's see if you actually have a plan for all this utility you purchased. So hold on. And what happens when they have a sheriff and she's dead immediately? No one cleared this. Why did no one clear this? You got lucky. No one's here. But that was crazy. Jet's dead and you're potentially dead because you have a classic and they'd have a sheriff. Think about that. This is crazy what just happened. What is this nonsense? Like, okay. All right, let's see how you do this. This is pointless. I understand why you're doing it. Okay, so you're doing what I like to call entry Cypher. And I had to learn how to play entry Cypher because I just didn't have entry agents that understood what they were doing. So I started to learn things like throw cam out, check sight, walk through, that kind of thing. Your jet has already gone out, and if you were watching the minimap, you would have seen that it was cleared. But you didn't. So instead, you're going to throw cam out. You've got your jet really far out here who has no support now. And you're just like looking at cam. I'm not a fan of this. There was no reason to do that. Anyway, let's see what you do. Are you watching minimap? Okay. Okay. I see this a lot, okay? And the only reason I'm getting worked up is because how often I see it. It's nothing against you personally. Stop using util. It sounds harsh, but you're doing so much random stuff because you see other people do it. And you think you understand why they're doing it, but I don't think you fully do. Because you threw out the cage to get on site, which is something an entry Cypher does. But you've got your whole team already on site, and your jet actually did her job very well. She spotted 3 people before your team even fully got on to the site. So now you're just like in a cage with a classic, and your team is fighting to the death. Your team, fighting. You're kind of checking cam in a cage. Let's see how this progresses. That you then walk immediately out of. We've really got to start thinking about this a little bit more. Even as Cypher, with all this utility, I want your main goal to be, how do I get information that leads to a 1v1 duel? Because before you even got on site, you saw where 3 people were located, which means you could start positioning yourself. Because, by the way, your jet did her job. You can start to position yourself in a way where you're able to actually take a duel. But instead, you bought 2 cages, threw one on the ground, hid in it, and then now we're just kind of walking around. We spammed and we got the brimstone. Curious, did you do that with the minimap? If so, I'm proud of you. No, I think you were shooting at a jet. You just got lucky. Now we're just inside of another cage. You had all the time in the world. She didn't know you were there, and you still spammed at her waist. All right, this is your homework. We're gonna call this one a little early. All right, because I already know the 3 main things. It's very, very, very repetitive. Information. You are not playing with information. You're not looking at the minimap. You're not making decisions based off that information. So the first thing is, let's start being a sentinel. Let's use that info. Let's get that info, okay? That's the main thing here, is use info. 2, you've got to stop just spamming your shoot button, okay? You had all the time in the world there, and you still shot at her hip. So let's try to look at our minimap. Let's try to accept that we're going to lose some duels, and that's fine while I work on, I'm going to shoot the head, okay? Because someone that is used to it is going to kill you almost every single time because it's become second nature to them, okay? And then number 3, in order to help you with steps 1 and 2, For number 3, I really, really want you to change agents for a little bit. You can play Deadlock. That to me is an okay agent that's still a sentinel because you get your wall, you've got a grenade, which is her net, and you're mostly focused on gunplay. So that's your homework. You can play Cypher, but they have to be very passive setups. You can only buy util if you're above 3,100 remaining, and you've got to look at your minimap and you've got to start aiming at heads, okay? Other than that, it's not too bad. We had a lot of movement error a couple times. I genuinely think you're a little too scared to take duels. But I think if you can really focus on steps 1 and 2, which is minimap and gunplay, specifically the head, I think your confidence with duels will increase significantly. So yeah, I hope you didn't take anything I said too personally. Remember, it's a VOD review. I have to be critical. If you guys would like to get your VOD reviewed, please send it over to darkslayertv@gmail.com. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.